and all of my little home chickens and home pumpkins. I am so excited and happy because guess what? It is the last Tuesday, the last Tarot Tuesday before Halloween. And it is now the high point, the high water mark of spooky season. Very excited. I have a nice festive wrap today with some skulls on it. Boop. And I also have a tarot deck with some skulls on it for us to talk about today. It's the Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco, an author that I absolutely adore. I think I have maybe like 5 of her decks in my collection. I'm still very congested, everybody. So let's take a look here in the box. Bam. I love all of the little like embossed. We have like pumpkins and brooms and witch hats and bats and all kinds of things. This is one of those decks where the box is like way bigger than the actual deck in order to accommodate the size of the book. Which I guess is a kind of a common problem. Like once my Oracle deck is printed, I'm probably going to have to think about that because I'd really like to have something where the cards kind of fit snugly in. And when I did a little test run, of my deck, and like the cards, look how tiny my cards are. I go places, so I like to travel with stuff. But these are big. These are really big. So you're really going to need like a big honkin' hand span really in order to be able to kind of handle these. They're a little bit past my little comfort point, but it's totally fine because the thing about Stacey DeMarco is that she collaborates with this artist called Jimmy Manton, and it's really his illustration that just brings her decks, I think, over the top. So she's Australian, and Halloween is kind of a newer thing there. Pardon me. And so she just kind of made this deck as an homage to this holiday that's kind of thought of as an American import where she's from. It happens in April in Australia. So she's kind of like celebrating Beltane and Halloween at the same time, which she talks about in her book. Hi, I don't know who's there, but I'm so happy to see you. I have a friend here. Yay. And so, but yeah, for me, like always, it's the artwork. Oh, it's Shirley. Hey, what's up? It's the artwork for me. And Jimmy Manton's artwork, I think it's just stunning. He often goes through like a really big, large central image, but this sort of ethereal dream space around it, which you can really see in all of the beautiful sort of washed colors. There's lots of like suns and moons and circular motifs that surround things. And I just find his artwork kind of dreamy and dramatic at the same time. So I guess that explains why it appeals to me. So this deck, it's really just celebrating all things Halloween. And it's the scary parts of Halloween and the magical parts of Halloween, but also like the part of Halloween where we're really thinking about our loved ones and our ancestors and the people who surround us, because really from her perspective and from mine as well, the reason for the season here is kind of about not just all of the fun and the scares and the monsters and the candy and all of the cool glammy witch stuff, but the celebrating and thinking about the people who were on the other side of that veil, which has grown really rather thin at this point. And so there is an element of that in her deck as well. So this is an oracle deck, very different from a tarot deck. A tarot deck is like codified 78 cards, a very specific journey, very specific stories. But sky's really the limit. There's a lot of limitless fun that we can have with an oracle deck, where the author conceives a story of their own and they come up with signs and symbols for that story. And there's often some very helpful text, because this isn't where you can memorize one tarot deck and I can pick up any tarot deck and I'm going to know what the Four of Cups means. This is like, I pick up this specific deck and I need to know what an apple means for her. So there is a lot of, so I appreciate that Oracle decks have a little interpretive nudge on the bottom, like textually, but also there's always like, I love adding Oracle decks into a tarot reading because there's always so much to read in the illustration, right? Oh, I love this one. I've been really feeling moths lately for some reason. I don't know if any of you know a creator called Prickly Alpaca, who basically challenges themselves to like make crazy, amazing costumes, crafts, and cosplay. Hey, Michelle, what's up, sister? She makes all kinds of crazy cosplay and stuff like that, and she's just an incredibly talented artist. But she just did an amazing crochet video where she crocheted a great lunar moth bandana for herself, and then she did a patchwork skirt video. Here's our titular card, where she put some Luna moths on that. So I've really been feeling them. So yeah, as you can see, this author, she's really embracing so many facets of Halloween. So we're seeing the monsters, but we're also seeing like things hearkening to something like Dia de los Muertos, where we're thinking about all of our lovely people on the other side of the veil. One of my sisters is actually on the video. You know, our dad's on the other side of the veil, something like 15 years 15 years ago today. This was the day that he transitioned, and I always love to do something special for him on this day. So today I'm going to make linguine and clam sauce, even though I don't really like clams. My husband's going to eat it, but I'm going to leave a little offering for him. So yeah, this is just a great time of year where the veil is thin and we're thinking about these things. So this deck really celebrates that. And so since this is the peak point of spooky season, this just felt like the right deck for today. And you really see what I mean about the artwork. There's like something very dreamy about it. It's scary, but not too intimidating. It's really into that beautiful realm of fantasy with one large central image, which is so appropriate for an oracle. But even like, there's a lot of skulls, for instance, in this deck. It isn't repetitive. He finds so many beautiful ways, the author or the illustrator finds so many beautiful ways to keep everything varied and interesting. And ooh, this is like the first one that came in upside down. Yeah, so let's go ahead and give this baby a little shuffle. And so let's have a little sweet Halloween message that we can carry with us today. What does the I'm feeling this card. What does the collective need to know? Oh, my goodness. And it was that last card that we just saw, the veil, just kind of popped out like me. So the veil, and this says the future, right? So that's really interesting because when we're thinking about the veil, or I'm thinking about the veil, I often think about the past. I like to think about our ancestors and our loved ones, but for Stacey DeMarco, for this, it really means like the future. So that there's what we see around us is in so many ways an illusion, even though it feels real. Like we have to pay rent, we have to eat stuff, we get sick, we have relationships that we need to maintain. But there's this veil that kind of covers our eyes, and there's this whole reality and dimensions upon dimensions beyond that. So there's so much more than just what we see around us. And so this is the time of year where that veil is thinner, and it gives us maybe some insight into who we are, who we want to be. So maybe this is a really great time over the next few days, maybe to think about your future plans. Try and reach through that veil into the Akashic field and try and think about some goals that you might want to set, perhaps once the holidays are over. This is just that time of year where we're really kind of tucking down into bed, like, you know, under our little bed of fallen autumn leaves, and we sleep for the winter. And that's a great time for us to start working on all the things that are going to emerge in that spring. So what seeds do you want to plant for next spring? Maybe we'll think about that. Maybe we're going to maybe congregate with our beloveds on the other side of the veil, and our guides and our angels, and think about maybe where we want to be 6 months from now. Maybe that's what we're thinking about today when we're thinking about the veil. See how she has something, it's covering her eyes, but it's thin enough. It's just thin enough for her to see through. Right? Beautiful, beautiful illustration, gorgeous image that gives us some insight into this idea of the reality that we see around us now is ever changing, right? And so the future is soon going to be a now. Let's try and look through what limits us to try and find the best possible timeline for where we want to be, individually and as a collective. So that's a message for everybody. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful for the people who have dropped in and stuck in. I hope you enjoyed the reading and that it was useful for you. I did say that on October 28th every year, I like to try and do something nice that would make my father quite proud. And so this year, I'm actually opening today a little shop on Etsy where I'm going to have some cute print-on-demand items featuring some of the art from my own Oracle deck. I just showed you a card from that in the beginning. And I'm going to be, here's something that's from my collection. So my artwork, my digital artwork is going to be print on demand. Well, not digital. These are real collages that I make. And I actually have one that I'm working on right here. And yeah, but I do scan them and then put on a few bits and bobs, and then that's what the basis of my Oracle card collection is. And so they're going to be available as like posters and stickers and makeup bags and things like that. So Lydian Mode Studio on Etsy.com, Lydian mode, like the musical scale. And that's opening today. And so, you know, when you're doing your holiday shopping next month, maybe think of me. Send me a message and I'll send you a link. Hi, April. I love you. So yes, everyone, have a big, beautiful blessing to take with you for today. I love you all so much. Thank you for sticking with me on this video. This is like the most people that I've actually had like come into the live and watch. So thank you. I'm so full of gratitude. Everyone have a beautiful, blessed day and a wonderful, amazing, super fun, safe, and just spooky enough Halloween. Mwah. Bye. Yeah, Michelle, I'll send you a link. Bye, everybody.